So today what I am going to talk about is, or what I am going to take you is through the journey of our short-term heart transplant program. So it's a journey of elation, journey of saddenings, it's a journey of learning, and it's a journey of even unlearning some things. We have learned a lot of things, and we have taught ourselves that this should be done and this should not be done over a period of time, and we have improvised in the field of heart transplantation. So I have no disclosure, and this is our timeline that we have done till date. We have done 9 heart transplantations, almost 2 or 3 a year, which is practically a very small number, and which we need to really increase the number. I cannot forget the 19th December 2016, because that was when we did our first heart transplantation, urgent by patient, wherein we flew the heart from Bhavnagar and transplanted into Urgenbai. A patient who was sick in the hospital for almost 15 days prior to the transplantation on IABP, received almost multiple shocks, 150 shocks because of VTVF, had pneumonia, had blood culture positive. So in that very sick patient, we transplanted that patient, and it was a jubilant moment when it was successful. And yes, that patient got discharged at the end of 70 days post-heart transplantation. Total stay in the hospital was 90 days with the previous days of heart transplantation. And this is when we went to Jamnagar 1 year back. Me and Dr. Anish Chandarana went to his home and met this patient, and he was doing fine. So now the second heart transplant that we did was in June 2017. This is again a very interesting case. Dilated cardiomyopathy patient, 21-year-old patient who had multiple episodes of heart failure, was in and out of the hospital on home milrinone therapy, hospital milrinone therapy. And then we transplanted this patient in June 2017 with an unoptimized organ donor, which Dr. Chintan Shed briefly discussed about previously. So that patient had received an heart from unoptimized organ donor, and definitely we had lot of issues. After transplantation, the heart was stent still. It did not started beating, so we had to support that patient on ECMO. That patient was on ECMO for almost 7 days. And after that 7 days, the patient totally recovered. His EF is normal, and this was the video right now. Just 3 days back, he sent me a video that he is running his own garment shop. So it's almost 2.5 years, and he's doing fine. This is our third heart transplant patient, dilated cardiomyopathy patient, having a history of VTVF. Dr. Ajay Naik's patient. He underwent AICD implantation, CRTD implantation, and because of multiple shocks and EF of only 15%, it was an idiopathic dilated cardiomyopathy. We did an heart transplantation, and the patient did well, discharged. And again, this is the video. Right now, he is working as at the ticket counter in railway station at Anand. So he's running, almost living a normal life and a normal quality of life. This is our fourth heart transplant patient. Again, a patient with dilated cardiomyopathy, female patient, EF of 15%, had an episode of VTVF. AICD was implanted by Dr. Ajay Naik. And again, she had an episode of recurrent shocks because of VTVF. So there was no other option in spite of the fact that she was in NYHA class 2-3, but because of repeated episodes of VTVF and 15% EF and VO2 max of only 8 ml per kg per minute, there was no other option, and heart transplant was the only thing. Good thing was her rest of the organs were quite preserved. So we did a heart transplantation, discharged on 9th post-operative day. Patient is doing fantastically fine, and recently she went to Bali, and this is the recent photo that she sent me, that she had visited Bali and had a good time in Bali. So these are the first 4 heart transplantation patient, and we all remember that just 2 years back we had a grand occasion of felicitating our first 4 heart transplant patients and 4 heart transplant donors family in the presence of Mr. Vijay Rupani, our Chief Minister. And definitely that was an elating moment for all of us, and that gave us a lot of motivation in pursuing the further program. With 4 successful heart transplantation, we really got more confident in fact, I would say slightly bit overconfident, and we took up a very sick patient for a transplantation. This is an director of ONGC who had underwent CABG with mitral valve repair in 2016, had a severe heart failure. During the surgery, he received multiple blood transfusions. So he was on milrinone therapy on and off for almost 2-3 months, had renal dysfunction, had liver dysfunction, was almost sort of a homebound, bed-bound patient. There was no other option. We discussed at length with everything with the relatives, what is the risk factor. We took that patient for the surgery. Surgery went off nice, everything went off nice, but on 16th post-operative day, patient developed acute rejection. And obviously, that was always in our mind because this patient had already received multiple blood transfusion. A patient who has received multiple blood transfusion is exposed to a lot of antigens, and so these patients, they develop antibodies inside their body, and hence these patients are always on a high risk category for organ rejections in post-operative period. So that patient ultimately, we put him on ECMO, but unfortunately he did not make it, and he succumbed on 22nd day. This is our 6th heart transplant patient, again, a very sick heart patient, again was in the hospital for almost 1.5 months before the transplantation done. He had high PA pressures. The RV was severely dysfunction and PA pressures were very high. So we did a heart transplantation, had a prolonged period stay, almost 35 days in the hospital because of PA pressures were high. Again, a very important indicator, important marker. If the patient is having high PA pressures preoperatively, these patients may give a lot of trouble postoperatively in heart transplantation. So this patient was discharged on 35th day, and unfortunately in follow-up, patient forgot to take immunosuppressants for almost 4 days, which was like a catastrophe. And then patient came with severe rejection. We did all our level best, put him on ECMO, IABP and everything, but he could not make it and he died of rejection. So important thing is compliance is very important in this category of patients after heart transplantation. It is not only the procedure, but post-operative care is also important. This is our 7th heart transplant patient, dilated cardiomyopathy patient, Dr. Milanchuk's patient. Had episodes of VTVF and NYHA class 3, but he was as such working in an LIC. We did heart transplantation, discharged on 15-20 days. And right now, after 6 months of heart transplantation, he's back to work, working as an LIC agent in Ahmedabad itself, and is doing well. This is our 8th heart transplant patient. Again, ischemic dilated cardiomyopathy patient, had an LAD MI, and because of massive LAD MI, his EF went down significantly. He was in NYHA class 3, but otherwise quite okay. But he had an episode, intermittent episodes of heart failure, almost 2-3 times in last 6 months. And EF was just 15-20%. So again, that patient underwent heart transplantation, had a very fantastic recovery, was discharged on only 12th or 13th day. And this is the recent video he sent, doing exercise in a garden. And it's almost now 8-9 months. And this is our last heart transplant patient that we did in August last year, Shakil Vora. He is also doing fine. He was again a sick patient, had a long stay of almost 31 days in the hospital, discharged, did fine. The only negative point in this patient was recently patient came up with a pneumonia, and we found out that patient is having Aspergillus pneumonia. We are treating that patient. Patient is at home right now with hemodynamically stability, and lung on heart biopsies, there are no rejection or anything, but yes, infection is there and is suffering from Aspergillus pneumonia, but is getting treated. So this is an overview. If you go through the hospital stay of the patient, you will find out if the patient is in good condition, wherein all the other organs are normal except the heart, if the liver and kidneys are fine, then the recovery is fantastic and patient can be discharged at an early age and overall outcome is good. If you look at the complications that we had in 9 transplant patients, severe rejections in 2 patients who died. There were mild rejection on biopsies which were treated with the help of pulse steroid therapy. I had only 1 patient who had an infection, pneumonia, Aspergillus pneumonia, our last patient, because he is staying in a place where there are cow and buffaloes around his house. Probably that may be the reason. And we had to use ECMO in 2 of the patients. So very important thing, take-home messages, and if you look at the ACC/AHA guidelines for heart transplantation, very important thing is NYHA class is not important. What is important is the symptomatic status, arrhythmia status, and the VO2 max that we normally calculate in each and every patient's. If the VO2 max is less than 14 ml per kg per minute, then definitely that is an indication for heart transplantation. You don't look at the NYHA class. Sometimes that may be misleading because it is a very subjective thing. NYHA can be a very subjective thing. So it is a balancing game, I would say. Sick enough heart against well enough organs or sick enough organs. It is a balancing situation. So with that balanced situation, you have a very small window period wherein you can subject that patient for a heart transplantation and they get a fantastic and heartening results post-operatively. For this program, the government has also initiated very good initiatives like the financial benefit for the needy patients, subsidies for the flight charge, SOTA formation, appointment of transplant coordinator in civil hospital. Dr. Jayanti Ravi is taking full interest in developing this program also, and establishment of transplant university. What we require is an initiative from our medical fraternity and with the help of you all people, with the conveying the message to the community and to the patient and giving them option of heart transplantation. Definitely we will be increasing the number of heart transplantation in coming years, and probably we may be doing more numbers than what we are doing right now. In fact, I would say there are many patients right now in the community, but unfortunately they are not given this option and they are not discussed about this, and obviously the financial issues are always there. So at the end I would say it is proper identification of the patient, proper donor management, and proper treatment and post-operative care that really makes a difference and makes a program a successful program. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate it.